Hey Taurus, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. We have a lot to cover today. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to pull your crowning energy, my Black Moon Tarot. I did already meditate and pre-shuffle on these. So this is going to be a general reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay, we have your crowning energy, which is the 7th house of partners. Very nice crowning energy. So I hope you guys are doing well. Remember, these are going to be general messages. Take what resonates, throw out the rest. And I do want to give you guys a heads up. I am going to be starting the first, maybe 5 to 8 minutes or so discussing astrology, okay? So I'm going to timestamp it. If you guys don't want to hear about the eclipse season that's upon us, then please feel free to fast forward. Again, I am going to timestamp because some people like it, some people hate it. So I just think it's really, really important. We have the eclipses right upon us. It's not happening until July 2nd, but we are really starting to feel it in the middle of May. And this is a pretty profound eclipse story. Okay, and that's what I'm going to explain it to you guys as a story. I want to just break it down and then talk about where it's actually going to be hitting you guys the most. So again, when we talk about eclipses, they are a story. So you want to think about it as taking about 2 years to unfold. And there are 2 types of eclipses, the solar and lunar. So the solar eclipses occur during the new moon phase when the sun and the moon are positioned at the exact same degree within the same sign. And what's important to know here is that the moon passes between the sun and the earth, temporarily blocking the sun. So obviously we're going to be dealing with some shadow elements there, right? And then the lunar eclipse, on the other hand, corresponds to the full moon phase, and it's during that time where the moon emanates the earth's shadow. So again, more shadow element. So eclipses happen, between 3 and 7 times a year. They happen a lot. It depends on the chunk, the chunk of years that we're talking about. But very important to us right now is that we have an eclipse story that we're going through that began on July 13th, 2018. And it's going to continue through 2020. And it's going to be lighting up the Cancer-Capricorn axis. So it is this Cancer-Capricorn eclipse. This eclipse continues this summer with the solar eclipse in Cancer on July 2nd. And then a partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn on July 16th into 17th. And the final part of this story, the final eclipse, is going to happen next year on July 5th to 6th of 2020. We're going to have a total lunar eclipse at 13 degrees Capricorn. And that's going to wrap up this 2-year cycle. So astrologically speaking, eclipses speed things up and they open new doors by slamming others shut. So we often find this is like a very abrupt energy. Sudden shifts, happen during this type of eclipse season. And the shifts are going to be jarring, but the eclipses help us speed up the inevitable. So if you've been dragging your feet on something, the eclipse is definitely going to give you the extra shove that you need to take action. And, again, shocking, jarring, but inevitable. Okay, these things that are going to be eclipsed out and eclipsed into your life, this is all meant to happen. Okay, but you know what? Remember, any endings that you're going to be going through, they're hard, but everything is cyclical. And a culmination always occurs on the edge of a beginning. So you really want to pay attention to what's going on in your life right now. You want to just know that your life is going to be making some major pivots over the next 2 years. So I want you guys to think back to 2000 to 2002, and then think of 2009 to 2011. Think about those two-year periods. And what was going on in your life. I'm going to give you my life as an example. This is not about me. I'm just telling you this to illustrate. And just before I even say this, understand that a lot of times things are brought in, eclipsed into our life before things are taken out. Okay, as was the case for me. In the year 2000, my twin boys were born. Huge gift to me. I believed that I could not have children. I was told I could not have children. So I met a wonderful doctor. I had IVF and I was able to have my twin boys in the year 2000. What a blessing that was, right? But then 18 months later, my mom passed away. And that was a huge blow for me. So I had this huge blessing, but this huge loss during that story. And then fast forward to 2009, into 2010, I divorced my husband at the time. And I ended up rebuilding myself in an incredible way. I completely changed my career. I advanced my education. There was just a lot going on where I was just completely on a different trajectory, you know, towards self-improvement. So that's how it affected my life, right? So but you're looking for, you want to look for the echo of similarity, right? Because these are dealing with things that were in my heart space. Now, how does this affect me with my chart? I am a Gemini sun, but I am a Cancer rising, and I am a Cancer Venus. I have a lot of Cancer in me, so I highly resonate with Cancer. So this Cancer Capricorn eclipse really spoke to me. And even though this is a Taurus video, we all have everything in our chart. So it's important for you guys to understand where there is Cancer in your chart. Check out your house placement and all of that, okay? So now let's just talk a little bit more about where this is going to be hitting you. So what's really important for you guys to understand is that every sign has an early degree, a middle degree, and a late degree. And you would often find, you say, well, you know, what the hell's the difference, whatever. Sometimes, like, if you know another Taurus, but you just like, they're so different than me, our story is not the same, you know, yeah, of course it could be that you have different charts, right? Because Taurus, if it's your sun, that's only your ego, your higher consciousness. And you have all these other things affecting your chart. But you want to understand the degrees, because you could be a Taurus but have things felt a little differently. So those of you who are April born, okay, anybody whose birthday's in April, or from 0 to 9 degrees, you're considered an early degree. Then May 1st through the 10th are considered middle degree, 10 to 19 degrees. And then May 11th and later through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees, you guys are considered late degree Taurus, okay? So we're going to have the Cancer solar eclipse at 10 degrees and then 20 degree Capricorn lunar eclipse. And that's what we're going to be dealing with. So you guys, the early degree, okay, the early ones, so the ones who were born in April, you're primarily going to be feeling it in your third house of communication and your ninth house of philosophies and beliefs and how you view the world and your morals and your values. And as far as communication, this anything to do with communication, any kind of technology, anything having to do with that. Those of you who are middle degree, you're also going to be feeling, you're also going to be having a secondary influence in the second house of wealth and the 8th house of reincarnation and rebirth, death and rebirth, okay? So, but that's really more of a secondary influence for you, early degree. For the middle degree, you're going to be having equal focus on your second house of wealth, the 8th house of reincarnation, and then that 3rd house of communication and the 9th house of philosophies and beliefs. So that's pretty big for those of you who are born from May 1st to 10th, okay, in that 10 to 19 degree. And then the late degree are primarily going to be feeling it in the 2nd and 8th house. So you guys are going to be feeling it and being impacted more by money and by big changes. Okay, and that 3rd and 9th houses, they're going to be more of a secondary influence for you guys. Okay, so I just think that's important for you guys to understand. Okay, so that's enough of the astrology per se having to do with the eclipse season. I just think it's really important to understand what we're feeling right now. Okay, so let's get right into, I do the crowning energy. I am using my astrology tarot cards, and we have the 7th house, which is partners. So yeah, this is a Libra energy. This is the house that represents others. So traditionally it's been thought to be the house of marriage and marriage partners. But it could be also friends and family, colleagues, people who matter to you, who are in your circle. And since it's the traditional house of Libra, it governs fairness, balance, and the law. Okay, it's also the house of open enemies, so frenemies kind of thing. Some of you may be dealing with that energetic influence. This can mean one of two things, okay? So it can mean issues dealing with partners with significant others, or it can deal with court cases or any kind of legal issues. So this card itself is neutral, and why that's important to know, and the 7th house is a very neutral house, but that's just very neutral. Just because remember, Libra is scales, so Libra is the only zodiac that actually doesn't have a heartbeat, you know? So that's why we consider it neutral. So really, we're going to have to go through the spread to see if the influences are going to end up being positive or negative, which we'll find out in a minute. But on a mundane level, this energy can mean engagement, a marriage, a relationship moving to the next level, of partnership just becoming more settled as it gains maturity. And it can also apply to getting ready just for a more serious relationship. Now, in the case of a dysfunctional or unhealthy relationship, again, we need to look at the cards in the spread. But in general, this energy does mean becoming more attractive to a possible partner, committing to the love of your life, taking relationships to the next level, and really just very fair outcomes in anything that you're going through right now. So it's an awesome crowning energy to have. Okay, so let's get right into the Celtic cross spread. So with this first card that's going to show us the space that you're in, we have the High Priestess. All right, love that, stepping into your power. It's a water element, it's moon energy, which tells me you're in a very introspective place right now, Taurus. Feeling very intuitive, very much figuring out your life. This is an incubation energy. This is you going inward, you know, really deepening your relationship with your higher self and trusting your internal knowing. And regarding relationships, this can mean being single for a time, or if you are in a relationship, it's like you and your partner are choosing to keep parts of your life separate or secret right now. And it could be because of circumstances. It does not have to be a bad thing at all. It's not. And in career and money, success is coming. But contracts in new work are taking time to nurture and mature. So you do need to be patient. This does indicate patience. And at home, this indicates a reasonably quiet time with relationships between family members, but still like a kind of distance that many of you might be feeling, like a little... yeah, just feeling a little distant with your family members, you know. And this could just be you guys all being buried in your separate lives right now. You know, that happens because life is busy, right? And then the energy crossing you is the Two of Cups, which is a Venus and Cancer card, another water element, lots of feelings here. And another card that indicates strong intuition. So this represents harmony and peace and partnership and love and making a deeper commitment in an existing relationship, you know, whatever that means to you. It can be an engagement, moving in together, getting married, you know, whatever that means. But this also indicates meeting someone new for those of you who are not in partnership. So what I'm getting, it's like you're meeting somebody new and you're just very in your emotions, and it's like that all-consuming type of energy, you know, like that early kind. So I think that's really beautiful. This does also indicate that many of you who have been having some issues with some friends, issues are going to be getting settled, you know, and you guys are going to be returning to a more harmonious space within your friendships. Yeah. I mean, there's just going to be an idea of mutual support and understanding in pretty much all of your relationships right now. And I do have to say, Taurus, this is also an energy of reconciliation, where many of you are going to be getting back with someone from the past, and old arguments are going to be resolved as you guys have the support here, the energetic support to put the past behind you. This is about you nurturing really all of the relationships in your life, but for many of you, you will be reconciling. Now, if it was a dysfunctional relationship and you're like, hell no, I'm not going back there, you have free will. You don't have to do anything. Just because we talk about what the energy supports, that doesn't mean, obviously, that you need to go out and actually do it. If it was healthy, you're going to have the support to figure your stuff out, which is great. Then we have the best that can be achieved. We have the Chariot, which signifies success and a major departure. Okay, so this is a time for determination and focus as you travel in a new direction, creating a new path for yourself. You're going to be making a decision now, okay? And you can begin to experience progress in your life in a big way, Taurus. Yeah. Definitely ready to take control and navigate your path. You're perfectly positioned to learn as your life opens up, It's like this feeling of like horizons rapidly expanding, you know. You're going to need willpower, though. I do want to say during this time, this energy does indicate like you have to be in that space with the energy. You just have to know that where you're going is really good, and you just have to just stay very diligent and dedicated to your path. Okay, it's going to work out so well for you if you do. And regarding relationships, this indicates stable relationships progressing at a pace, you know? If the relationship is healthy, if the relationship is dysfunctional and toxic, this indicates you moving on alone, Taurus. I mean, yeah. But that would be your rightful path. So, yeah. This does also indicate just swift progress in business and career, and an opportunity coming your way that's going to be very challenging and very exciting. Financially, you're on an incredibly successful path right now. So I really like this for you. This is great. And then in your foundational energy, we have the Eight of Pentacles reverse, which tells me that you're in a space of feeling trapped. Okay. First of all, heads up, this is a minor arcana. It's not a major. It's not going to be lasting long. It's a passing energy, but it's something that you are going to be dealing with. So let's just talk about what it means for a minute. Because I'm getting that many of you feel like you're on a path in your life that just isn't for you right now. And that's not developing your particular talents, you know, or like resonating with your interests enough for you to be happy over the long term. This is like... this is the kind of energy where like you're doing your job just for the money, and while that's totally acceptable and normal in the short term, I'm getting that many of you feel like it's just going to suck the very life out of your soul if you continue with it in the long term. But I'm getting that a lot of you aren't really sure exactly where you want to go. This energy supports you thinking or rethinking your career while you continue to support yourself financially. Because this does indicate a cycle that's about to come to an end. So rather than wait for this to happen, conserve your energy and direct it towards finding a new career, and don't resign yourself to your present situation if there's no sense of achievement and appreciation in it. You know, especially with the eclipse hitting you guys with that second house of wealth. This is a supportive time for you to make a transition, absolutely. And then in your past position, we have the Star reverse, which can mean you haven't given up too easily on something. This tells me that some of you were too attached to a fantasy of some sort while overlooking important details. Like maybe you were looking at a relationship, a situation, a job through rose-colored glasses for a time. Others of you may have been pulled into a situation where there was a false sense of security that had no real foundation. You know, like no real chance of success. Like now, if you think about it. But I am getting that this was a time where you were feeling alone without the support that you needed, okay? But that's the past, okay? And now in your near future, we have the Queen of Swords reverse, which suggests excuses for bad behavior or a situation in which you were unjustly attacked or are going to be unjustly attacked. I'm sorry, because it is future. Okay, this could be another person who suddenly turns bitter and vengeful towards you. But there's a lot of stress here. I'm getting that many of you are dealing with another individual who's under a lot of stress and who lacks the awareness of just how unreasonable their demands have become. And again, this is a minor arcana too, so the energy isn't going to last. And this card recommends to just back away, because whoever this individual is, they really must learn how to help themselves. You can't enable anyone, in that energy. Okay, and then in the energy representing you, we have the Eight of Wands, which is one of the most positive cards in the suit. This is a fire element, Mercury and Sag. Yeah, I like this. This brings a lot of communication, and if you've been feeling held back, like you were stuck waiting for decisions, you're going to be receiving some really good news. Having to do with like work, something in work or some projects, something that you were involved with, it's just going to grow wings and you're going to really move forward very swiftly. Many things are going to be coming at you at once. And you don't have to say yes to everything, Taurus. Choose wisely and just enjoy. This is like a, that really kind of like exciting. It's almost like a frenetic kind of energy, So just enjoy that, because that's going to be happening for you for sure. In relationships, this can bring great news about love, especially if you've been separated from a partner, or if you're waiting to hear from a potential partner. Maybe some of you met someone new and you're waiting. This is all good stuff, okay, in your energy. So I really like that. And then in your external influence is the Two of Wands reversed, which tells me that you're feeling like your talent is being wasted because of someone who's not listening to you. It's like someone external to you can help you progress forward in your life, but you feel like they're not helping you in the way that they can. And if this is the case, this energy supports you changing the situation if you can, just so that you could be with people who understand your views and appreciate your skills and just who are more just more supportive of you, who recognize you more and recognize what you can bring to the table. This can also indicate for many of you misplaced trust in an unreliable partner. So just make sure if you're in a those of you who are in relationships, that your partner is pulling their weight, because this energy does indicate you do most of the work in something and not being appreciated, okay? And that would be an external influence, okay? And then we have in the hopes and fears position, we have the Magician. This is Mercury. The element is air. It's also linked, though, to the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, two very benefic energies. So this is about communicating and expressing your ideas and desires. And this is about you just broadening your horizons, right? It's the second or third card that we got about that. Just having to drive your plans forward and taking a new creative approach. No more procrastination here. This is you trusting your internal guidance. If you're single and you want love, it's coming. If you're in a relationship, the Magician shows love in action, so you're going to see a deepening of your commitment. Beautiful. Communication is going to be excellent, and you're just going to be able to reach a deeper understanding of each other's needs in relationships. In career, it definitely indicates a new beginning, either finding new employment or a new direction in your existing work. This card also shows inspired leadership, from a very grounded, a very enthusiastic individual. Yeah, so I am getting a lot of you guys are going to be changing careers, directions, something, but you are going to be getting some really nice support. So while this is, this is your hopes and fears. So this is what you guys are bringing to yourself, okay? Don't allow any fear to enter this space, please, okay? You don't want to do that. No negative mind space. No. Not during this energy. Be practical in your approach and bring this to yourself, and only think positive thoughts. Think this into existence. That new career, that healthy relationship. Think it into existence, because the energy is saying it's right there for you if you let it happen, which is awesome. And then we have the final outcome card here, which is the Queen of Wands, which is water, the suit of fire, and it's a Piscean and Aryan influence. So this is about you stepping into your power. Yeah. Your ideas are flourishing, and you're showing others what you can do. There's no room for self-doubt in this energy, okay? This is you reflecting on how you are managing your life, okay? And making sure that you have enough space for the opportunities coming your way. Overall, this shows that you're going to have the strength you need, and your relationships are going to feel energized, and just romance, friendships, family ties, professional contact, they're all going to be doing great after this time period. This is a great reading. I love this eclipse season for you guys, Taurus. I really, really do. You have a very beautiful angle to Cancer, and even to Capricorn up in the sky. So, the things that are going to be eclipsed away, they really need to go. But the things that are going to be coming in are life-changing. And there's just a lot of money vibe here. There's a lot of money vibe and a lot of rebirth of yourself, of you guys just really creating a new version of yourself, finding a new layer inside of yourself, or growing another layer. Really beautiful stuff. And that is what I have for you, Taurus. Thanks so much for joining me. Please enjoy the next couple of weeks, and I will see you for the end of June reads. You guys take care. Bye-bye.